Hey, everybody, and welcome to Tuesday Notary Titans. Today is Tuesday, November 12th. My name is Jen Neitzel. I am one of your co-hosts. I'm the creator of marketingfornotaries.com. I am joined by the one and only Laura Biewer, and she had to switch her laptop. So she is going to be on the call here in just a minute. She had some issues with her sound. Oh, there she is. Say hi to everybody, Laura. Can't hear you, Laura. Let's see. While she is messing with
issues.
that,
How about now?
I can
There
hear
you
you.
Okay. I don't know what's wrong. I've got 3 different computers and I get up in the morning, turn them on, and they're not in the same settings as when I turn them off. Weird.
Girl, technology and social media are the bane of my existence. All right, guys, let's get this awesome call started today. If you are new here, welcome. We are thrilled that you are on this amazing call. This is a free service that Laura and I are happy to bring to you every Tuesday afternoon. And we are going to start the way we always do with some announcements while we're waiting for everybody to get in the TNT room. If you would like to start getting in line now to have your questions answered, it's really simple. All you have to do is go to the bottom of your Zoom screen and there will be a little raised hand function. Looks like a little raised hand. Just click on that and that will get you in line to have your notary business questions answered. But let's start with some announcements. First and foremost, you guys know that through Notary Business Builder, we have been promoting notary innovators all year long since we launched the Notary Business Builder Spotlight. And I want to talk to you today about Miss Pat McGee out in California. She has an Etsy store called Tease Yourself Store. She sells t-shirts and hoodies and accessories, mostly for ladies. The shirts and hoodies include general wear and special occasion items for Black History Month, which is, can you believe it, 3 months away? For bachelorette parties, for 4th of July, Pride Week, all stuff at an affordable price. So you can trust this link. We've been there and it is an awesome little store. So go check it out on Etsy. The other thing I want to remind you about on this call specifically is we like to answer your questions live. That's what this show is. It's a live Q&A. So I want to remind you guys, we do not prioritize chat questions. We prioritize the folks that have raised their hands. Those questions come first. And what we'd love for you to do is if you have any kind of question, please know we are not going to judge you or think it's stupid or somebody's already asked that. There is no question off limits, and we mean that. So please feel free to raise your hand to ask your question. If you just can't bring yourself to come on camera and talk about it, we get it. You can put your question in the chat. Just please know it may not be answered on that particular, on the call. If you would like to get your question in line, though, we have a great form that you can visit on the TNT website located at notarycoach.com/TNT. You can submit your questions for TNT. That will be our second source of questions, is that TNT form. You don't have to, it's not a requirement to fill out, but if you want your question answered, go on there and fill it out. You don't even have to tell us your name if you don't want to. It is not a big deal. But I just wanted to clarify that because we had a ton of questions in the chat last week. And I want to be sure that we address everybody's stuff in order of priority. Laura, do you have anything to add to that?
No, I think you hit that just great.
I overtalked it as I do. All right. Let's move on to a free goal setting workshop. We are in Q4, guys. The new year is a blink away, and the one and only Jen Cooper with JKC Mobile Notary is hosting a free goal setting workshop on December 14th from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Pacific time. The registration link is in the chat. You are going to get a free downloadable workbook and a chance to win Wendy Diem's 2025 Notary Planner. We talked about that all last month on this call, how awesome Wendy's planner is. You're going to chance to win that for free. So register and check your email for the Zoom information link. Okay, guys, are we ready to get started with your questions? Who's going to be the brave one today and raise their hand? It's going to be, is it Nika or Nika?
It is Nika.
Hey, Nika, my name is Jen. It is nice to meet you.
Um,
What state are you calling from?
I am in the Sunshine State.
Nice, a Florida notary. So tell us what your question is.
Okay, my question is actually for Laura. Last week, I let you guys know that I'm brand new and that I was thinking about going into specialty, and she told me to kind of stick with general notary work for now. And
Yeah.
she said that I needed to focus on a foundation of competency. And I realized that that was good advice, but I still have no idea what that means. So if you could specify exactly what it is that you think I need to learn and make sure I have down pat before venturing too far into others.
Absolutely. So when I think regardless of what the specialty is that anybody wants to pursue, they first need to know how to be a notary. That means they can recognize notarial acts, they know how to fill out a journal, they know the identification laws, they know the alternatives when things don't meet up exactly how the law says, if everything goes right. They know how to assess a signer to make sure they're alert and aware. All of those things and a few more need to be part of your toolkit so that when you're out there on your own and you're at the table, you feel confident handling a document you've never seen before, right?
Yeah.
Because you know what your job is. My job is, I start at the top. What is this called? I go through it and I look for completeness and get to a signature line, because if there's no signature, and I'm glad I'm getting a chance to say this because I've had calls this week to me about documents saying, I don't see a signature. What's the right notarial act? So here's the thing. If you're going to perform an acknowledgement or a jurat, it has to have a signature. That's just the bottom line. If there isn't one, then that document wasn't expecting to have a notarization performed on the certifying the identity of that signer. Now, maybe it's some other kind of notarial act, like an oath. An oath doesn't require a signature. But the thing is, you need to know your notarial acts for your state. Florida has mandated language, so you have to know what the elements, I think there's 9 different elements required for your certificates for acknowledgements and jurats. These are the things that need to be good. Now, where can you get that? Because you do take an initial training class in Florida to get your commission. So you want advanced training on that. One, you want a review of what they did say, and then you want that expanded upon. I do have one called Real World Training. It is for the state of Florida. It is not for RON. It is for traditional notarization. And that's the other thing I'd say is I would not jump into technology if I'm not confident and competent at the basics of being a notary, because you add a lot of complexity when you jump into the RON. You're going to be customer support to your clients who don't know how to navigate that system on the other side. So I also think that you should actually perform notarizations by hand before you ever do RON work, so that you're clear about that.
If I can
The
piggyback.
ins and outs of
Oh,
the
sorry, I
job.
thought she was done.
No, I'm
Laura,
sorry.
you're breaking up a little bit. You're breaking up on us.
That's what it means to know the ins and outs of the job itself. And then you have your best practice. You could get some practice by doing mock, meaning pretend signings with friends, grab documents off the internet and see how that goes. And then taking jobs that are basic jobs. Somebody has a pension they need notarized. Though that type of work, and you will get that kind of work when you have good Google business profile, because you'll pull from the public who are looking for documents to be notarized. Is that helpful?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
And Nika, I want to piggyback. We love a good piggyback on this call, as everyone knows. There's a couple of links in the chat. One is for Laura's foundational learning for Florida that she's talking about. Okay. So you can go check that out and decide if it's right for you. The other is for the Florida Academy of Notaries that is run by Janae Blatch. Please go check that out. The link has been posted for anybody in Florida that would like to check out Janae's resources to help you between her and Laura. That training, the Florida specific training that Laura provides and Janae's group in Florida, your foundational experience, if you go through both of those programs, will be where you need it to be. Okay. They're both really good programs. And I just want to add something. I know we have so many Florida notaries on this call, and we love each and every one of you. Please don't put your favorite training in the chat. We only recommend on this call the trainings that Laura and I know about, know the instructors, and know what they're training you on. We are not just going to recommend somebody because we heard of a program. Okay, so I just want to, I deleted a couple things in chat. I don't want anybody to get upset with me about that. I just want to explain. We have so many new notaries on this call that I want to be sure that we are providing accurate referrals for what we believe in. So sorry for hijacking that, Nika, but does that help answer your question?
Thank you.
Okay. Awesome. All right, guys, who has another question for us? While you are raising your hands, I'm going to go to our TNT form link. Bear with me 1 second here. I just got to pull this up. 1 second. Laura, this one stumped me. Laura, are you ready for this one?
Well, we'll see.
I was like, gosh, I don't know what the right answer is to this. So I'm really interested in your thoughts on this. The question is, I am working in a different area from where I live during the week, and I have been getting signings back home. I go home on weekends and take my notary things just in case, but it never happens. At the National Notary Association, through the NNA, I cover multiple counties. I guess she's saying that she's able to drive to multiple counties, but I still just get things back home, and that's an hour and a half away. How can I get notifications where I am during the work week, and then notifications at home an hour and a half away on the weekends without having to change my home address?
I don't know that you're able to do that. There are limitations on these directories, and you may not be able to say, oh, call me here then, call me here there. I don't think the technology or the platforms are sophisticated enough to do that. I would say one is if you have a Google profile and there's anywhere on there you can indicate a location, but I don't believe there is. And I would choose the address that's going to give you the most, that you're in the most of the time, right?
Yeah.
To the most opportunity to get those jobs. I know that the NNA one, you're not able to do that. I'm on Notary Rotary, you're not able to do that either. There's other directories out there, and perhaps there's one that can do that, but I'm not aware of one that allows you to differentiate on these days it's this location, on these days it's that location.
I am not either. I am not aware of how to do that. And unless you are creating separate profiles with office hours that coordinate to when you are in that particular area, that is really the solution there. And I have Nevada notaries asking me in the chat if they can chime in. Jen, are you trying to tell me something, Jen Cooper, on chat?
No, I have a question for somebody in chat who doesn't have a mic or
Oh,
camera.
got you.
So
Okay. Okay, sorry. Nevada Notary says to widen your radius. Thank you for that. Nevada Notary is suggesting on each profile that you widen that radius of where you're willing to travel. But that's also going to include an hour and a half away from where you live, the opposite side too. So you really need to consider that. But I am not aware of any other solutions for that as well, from my perspective. I'm good. I'm glad you said the same thing, Laura, because I was like, gosh dang, how would you do that?
Well, yeah,
So,
the other thing I thought of was widening, but then it's so big that you're going to keep getting jobs that are, an hour and a half, like you said, away from where you are.
right. Yeah. Because if you're here and you go an hour and a half here, then you're also going to have to go an hour and a half this way to meet that radius. So, if you're never in the middle is what I'm saying. But hopefully that helps answer some of the question. I see Snyder's iPhone. Is this who I think it is? It is. Hey,
Hey,
what's up, Snyder?
good, good. I have a question about Google. Do you guys talk about that?
We do talk about Google. Is this your first time on the call?
Yeah, in like a couple
Welcome.
years.
You
Well,
guys know
thank you,
at
thank you.
Young Gene on TikTok. There you go. And,
Thank
and
you, thank you.
Instagram. That's him in the flesh. What's your question?
Google keeps deleting my reviews. And there's somebody who like left their review in front of me, and Google's still like, nah, we're not showing that one. What's that
They're
about?
deleting the ones you're getting or the ones you're giving?
The ones I'm getting.
The ones you're getting. How many do you have is it a total thing? Like,
No, it's just like every once in a while someone's like, "Hey, I left you a review," and then I go look and it's not there. My number didn't go up. They can see it, but I don't see it on my Google. I go from like an incognito window, don't
yeah.
see it there.
So I know from my time spent with Jim Allen, who is the marketing notary, and you guys know he was one of our very special guests on this call a few weeks ago. And he was answering you missed it by a couple of weeks, Snyder. You should have.
Ah, should have came. Should have came.
um, and I can connect you with Jim as well. Jen's got the link in the profile for his info or in the chat for his information. But
Oh, sweet.
um, I have heard that people that don't have Google accounts aren't able to leave Google reviews. So they
Hmm.
don't get posted. That's the only thing I can think of. Laura, do you?
No, I wouldn't know why they are being deleted.
Yeah.
That
Only,
happens on Yelp as well. It happens on other
yeah.
reputation platforms. And it's their algorithms. I don't know behind the scenes why they do what they do.
Well, we'll figure it out later then. But
I
thank you.
don't think anybody knows why they do
Yeah, there's no
it.
rhyme or reason to Google at this point. But a lot of people are just like, yeah, me too. My stuff are getting deleted. So
Yeah,
I
you're
was,
not alone. It happens. I
Mhm,
hear it a lot. And
mhm.
I know that there is some kind of communication glitch if you don't have a Gmail account. Like if you logged in with
Right.
Yahoo or something, it may not post. So
Ah,
that could be it. But I would recommend reaching out to Jim Allen.
I was gonna say, yeah.
He's on social media as the marketing notary, and he's awesome.
Chat. Yeah.
Tell him, and
Someone's putting it for me too. Thank you.
his links are in the chat, and tell him I sent you.
All right, perfect. Thanks, Jen.
Thanks so much.
All right.
Jen, did you have some questions in the chat for us?
I have a question from Marty Shelton. She says
Okay.
the California State has rejected my renewal 3 times. First, they said I needed a 6-hour class, but I'm renewing, so I only need a 3-hour. I submitted that. Second, they wanted me to confirm my business and home address is the same. Yes, as it shows on the application. Third, they said my live scan fingerprints weren't clear and I need to resubmit those. My commission is now expired and I'm losing work and customers. Advice.
Well, the
Well,
live
or a question if I've ever heard one.
the live scan, if the prints weren't clear, you just need to go back to where you had the live scan done with that rejection letter for the prints, and they will redo it for free and resubmit them.
And then what was the other 2 things? Her name and address? I mean,
There's a new
She's just, I think her overall arching question is, what the heck is going on? It's just like this constant back and forth with the Secretary of State.
Secretary, well, first of all, they're the government, they're Secretary of State. We can't speak for them. Right? We don't work in their office. We don't know what they're doing. So I cannot tell you that. What I can tell you is that in the last few months, they changed applications. They changed what some of the pieces of information that are required that might not have been required before. So that could have something to do with it. I don't know that that is so. The only thing that you said that I know for sure is that if it says the prints weren't clear, you need to go back to the live scan. If it was NNA, go back to an NNA site with the letter so that they can redo them and resubmit them as soon as possible. I don't know how much time you gave before your commission ended, because you need a good 4 to 5 months minimum, because things happen. And if you don't give yourself that much time in California, you risk having your commission expire.
Didn't you say not too long ago, it was like maybe a month or two ago, Laura, somebody was talking about in California that it's like 6 months that you should be before the expiration date of your commission that you should be applying.
The Secretary of State, which by the way, they just did a 1-hour educational call on National Notary Day. And that whole call was about what are the requirements, and then how do you fill out an application, and what are the steps. And it was recorded, and it will now be on the Secretary of State's website. So they went over every single field, all of it, so that everybody knows exactly what is required. And they recommend 4 to 6 months.
Wow. Okay.
Minimum. I do mine 9 months in front.
That's good advice, guys. Take it, take it. Did we answer your question, Marty? Hopefully we did. Whether they're both.
She said she got another live scan. She was just wondering if anybody else had the trouble, and their rejection reasons she feels were bogus.
Well, why was it rejected? Why would you think the rejection was bogus? If the prints aren't clear, they make you do it a second time. If the second time it doesn't go through, then they'll do a manual on the third.
I think she's talking about the first two, which is requiring her to take a 6-hour class instead of the 3, and then her name and
yeah. So the 6-hour class is a requirement if when you renew, if your commission is not current by the time you're done with the process, not necessarily the day you took the exam. So that's an interpretation by this administration. And what they're saying is you may have been current the day you took the exam, but if it expired after that, but before the commission was issued, you finished it, then you will have to take the 6-hour instead. The other reason for 6 hours is if you take 3 hours and you don't pass the exam, you have to go back and take the 6 hours. So those are the 2 reasons I know about for them to refer you back to a 6-hour. And of course, the third one could be it's a mistake and you have to speak to the Secretary of State, call into one of their technicians to, if you were not expired by the time they were going to issue it.
Okay. Sounds like a lot of bureaucratic tape is what it sounds like. And
the
message is, if you're in California and your commission is renewing, be like Laura, be like the goat, and apply for your updated commission 9 months out instead of the 4 to 6 that they recommend. Jen, did you have another question?
No, I don't.
Okay. Laura, Danica, I'm going to get back to you in just a second. Laura, will you tell everybody how they can connect with you to get all this wealth of information that you have outside of this call? Because you have some opportunities to connect away from TNT and some smaller group settings.
Yeah, so I have a couple different ways. And of course, one is, hey, I want private time to ask my question. I don't want to do it in a group. I have a 15-minute strategy call. It's free. And you just go to my calendar and you set up that appointment time. And that's 15 minutes. You can ask me whatever you want, whether it's technical, document, marketing, doesn't matter, whatever it is, that's fine. The other way is that I have a Saturday morning group called Laura's Inner Circle. It's smaller than this one, and it's Saturday mornings at 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. And it's this kind of format with a few changes. One is we start with an intention for that call before we get into questions, and we might talk about that intention a little bit first. Then it's an ask me anything type, and I'm not the only one. Jen Cooper, somebody who answers questions, and Matt Miller also answers questions on that call. And so if you can't make it to a Tuesday call, that's a great alternative to do that. So those are the two ways you can get to me for some kind of free coaching.
Awesome. Thank you, Laura. Danica, thanks for waiting. You have another question for us? What do you got?
I do. I have two. You guys are gonna get sick of me because I'm
No, girl, this is what this call is for. You listen, nobody else has their hand up right now. So you are basically getting one-on-one coaching with me and Laura. Come on. Like, that's amazing. Go for it. What do you got?
questions then. Okay, so notary directories. Is there a point to me getting on them at this early of a stage? And which ones, if so, do you recommend?
Well, I'd suggest first Google Business Profile, even though there can be issues sometimes, that's going to give you the most visibility. So I have that one. I also did Yelp, but I only did the free version. They'll want to sell you, just say no. I do the free version, and I do get Yelp leads every week. And then the one I pay for is the NNA one for findanotary.com, which is not so much loan signing work. It's about all the other kinds of specialties or reasons why people need a notary, and they have a really good pull and a huge database there. So people go there. So those are the three I'd recommend from a database perspective. Jen, do you have any others?
I would say in the beginning, that's good. I want to warn you that there are a lot of directories out there that make a lot of promises, and are happy to take your money. So really do your research if you're going to pay for anything. The one that I would pay for right now as a new notary is exactly what Laura said. It's findanotary.com through the National Notary Association. And as you move along in your processes and you get, a little more specialized, I would also look, and this is for down the road, Danica, maybe like a year from now, after you've had lots of practice and you maybe decide to specialize in a few different areas and, offer different services, is Gotary, GOTARY.com. I would look at that one as too. It is a directory of top tier notaries across the country.
Okay. My other question is about Google intake forms.
Google,
That was challenge number 38. The intake forms. I'm doing mine on Google, and I was wondering if you guys know, is there a way? I'm doing my calendar, my booking calendar on Google as well. I haven't really made a lot of money doing this, so I'm not trying to spend too much money to get started. So I'm using as many free options as I could find. So I went with Google Calendar, and I was using Google intake forms, and I was wondering, is there a way, if you guys know, to automate the sending the intake form once somebody books an appointment?
You would have to look that up on Google, Danica. I don't know how to, that is, I use a different platform. So I have an automated process, but for my general notary customers, I have found that a little video works really well, explaining the process and sending that to them via text so they can see me and feel comfortable that this person's going to be knocking on their door, and feel secure when they answer it, that they know who I am. So I want you to consider that as an option too, just as a little additional add to your business. Laura, do you have anything that you want to add about automation? I know you don't really have too much automation set up, do you?
No, I'm really simple.
Yeah.
Call me, I answer my phone. That's
Yeah.
that's pretty
Yeah.
much it when it comes to the business. I really do rely on that.
So Danica, I know how tempting it is to want to automate everything to make the business flow. And right now you're in that business planning stage, right? Of how to make things work for you so you can be out in the field, right? Notarizing documents. Am I assuming correctly?
Yeah.
Okay. So it is so important that first year that you are out meeting people in your community. We are in a people business. A lot of us don't like to admit this, but we are in a people business. And people aren't hiring your notary stamp, Danica. They're hiring you because they know you, they like you, and they trust you. If it was just the stamp, somebody would have figured out how to automate that a long time ago, right? But we have to be in front of people and meet them and spread the word about our business because nobody else is going to do it for us. And so I would just caution you, while automation is great and helpful, I would caution you to really think about your first year in business, just the first year. And how much do you want to automate versus how much do you want to spend your time going to free community events, free chamber events, free networking groups that you can find on Facebook and LinkedIn, free Zoom meetings to meet with people in your community? Because all of that, if you noticed, is free. And you said your budget is low. The best way to not worry about automation, like don't worry about the automation and paying for it, because anything you buy, you're going to have to invest some money into a program to do that for you, that I am aware of. I've not found anything for free to do that. That's easy to use. So consider maybe taking that first year and really, like Laura said, keeping it simple and getting back to basics.
Okay.
Something for you to think about.
Okay.
Awesome. Okay. Thank you for that question. I loved that. Did we answer all your questions?
Yes, ma'am.
Awesome. Thank you. And keep coming back to this call. You're going to learn so much here. And Danica, you can be assured that anything we recommend to you, any training, anything, it's because Laura and I stand behind it and we know it's good, valuable training.
I have it as a recurring meeting on my calendar.
Yay, good. I'm so glad to hear that.
Well, I'm not sure how to word this. It's really an awesome opportunity to pick the brains of the tried and true. You guys know what you're doing and I don't. So I can allow you guys to help me with, give a little direction, smooth things over a little bit, decrease the bumps in the road.
I love that. I'm allowing somebody to help me. That I really like that, because I know a lot of people, sometimes myself included, that have a hard time accepting help. So I love that you said that, Danica. That's a great reminder to every single one of us on this call. None of us know everything, right?
So
So
headstrong, this is not the time.
yeah. Exactly. Thank you so much, Danica, for that awesome reminder. And Jen Cooper, I know you wanted to make a comment about automation. I went off on my relationship stuff. You know how I do, but I know you wanted to say something to Danica as well.
Well, I think you're 100% right, Laura, or Jen, about the fact that when you're new, you need to focus on building relationships. But I'm going to go a step further. You can't automate appointments if you don't know what to ask people when they call. If you're not used to having a routine of making sure you get all of your questions answered, so you know how to bill for that event, so you know exactly what you're walking into, so you know whether or not people have IDs. All of that is part of a learning process of doing it by phone over and over and over again. You can use the call. Notary Ally has wonderful intake forms. They're physical forms. You physically have to talk to people to answer all those questions. But I would never try to go and automate any kind of booking or anything like that until you've had the experience behind you to understand what you need to ask. Because to automate booking, you have to feed that automation system questions. And you won't know which questions are important to you, and everybody's going to be different. What's going to be important to you and what's important to that appointment until you've done it a good handful of times. So that's the only part I wanted to add is it's a great thing to have later down the road.
And you know, I just wrote a blog on that. Did you guys see that? Anybody see my blog about,
Yep.
it was a two-parter. The first one was about questions to ask before you say yes to the job. And then the second part was, what are the questions you ask of the signer once you have the job before you go
Yep.
out? And then what do you say when you get there? I must have 20 different questions between those two blogs. So just those two articles would probably give you 98% of the questions you need to be asking.
I'll try to find the link and put
Yeah,
it in the
thank
chat.
you. It's on Facebook and LinkedIn, but I don't remember. I don't know what it is because Zion put it on for me.
Thank
But I
you,
knew people
guys.
were having that issue. And so I went right down the line of when I get the call, what are the questions I need to ask?
Yeah. And Crystal kind of summed it up in the chat. That's been my biggest lesson in the first year. You got to put in the reps. So very true, Crystal. So true. Thanks for bringing that up, Danica. You started a great conversation. I appreciate that. And Ariel has a question for us. Ariel, tell us where you're calling from and what your question is.
Hi, I'm sorry. I'm a little under the weather.
I'm sorry.
But I'm from SoCal, so I'm California.
Yeah.
So I'm really, really new. This is my first time here. But
Um,
thank you. Yeah, I'm really glad I found you guys. Um, so like I said, I'm really new at Notary and everything. And I actually do my live scan on Monday. But my question is, I obviously have never done a signing and I'm terrified. I'm not even gonna lie. Um, is there any suggestions that you would give me to maybe find somebody to mentor me or show me how to do it a few times? I'm a very hands-on learner, and of course, I wouldn't want to take on a signing and mess something up. Is there possibly
are
somewhere
you
you can point me
So
to?
Ariel, are you focused on loan signings? Is that what you want to focus on? Or are you focused on general notary work, or what specialty are you working in currently at the
So
attorney?
right now, I just want to get notary down, but I do have a loan signing program that I'm into.
Okay.
I feel like I kind of jumped the gun, but I was just really excited. But
Sure.
yes, just for general notary at this point.
Okay. So Laura, I'm gonna let you start on that one.
Well, so first of all, I would suggest that you start making some notary friends. There's lots of them in SoCal, and connecting with them because you could do mock appointments, mock signings to practice what you do with the document. That's one idea, and it doesn't cost anything. It's just friends, buddies doing things together. If you want to be sure that what you're saying is the right thing and you want to deal with the most common documents, I do have the California real world training, and I go through about 10 different documents and I tell you, this is what you say about it. This is what you look for. These are the questions you ask. This is how you notarize it. And so that's a potential. And that would be at coachmelaura.com. So that's a second way. When you get into loan signings, again, you could see if you can connect with somebody who's already doing that job. But I do have a master class on conducting a loan signing from the front end to the back end, from taking the call to the follow-up and bill collection. So that's another opportunity to get the whole thing done, and know that what you're being told is compliant, with California law. Now, there's other ways, Jen Neitzel.
So I wanna just say, Ariel, and I know you're in a loan signing program, and learning loan signings is important, just like it's important to learn how to work at medical facilities as a specialty, work at trust as a specialty, all of those things. But I want to caution you when it comes to mentoring in that space, in the loan signing space. Anybody who is, and I want everybody to hear this on the call, anybody who's worth their salt is not gonna take you on a loan signing appointment with them. It's a privacy issue for the people that are signing, the borrowers or sellers. All of their personal information, from bank accounts to lines of credit to, I mean, social security numbers, everything is in that loan package. Don't fall for that trap of somebody wanting to take you, Ariel, because that right there just tells me that, you know, that person doesn't understand the importance of privacy for their customer. So, and I know it's tempting to want to follow somebody. But I would encourage you, like Laura said, anybody on this call who's in SoCal that wants to reach out and give some advice to Ariel, please put your information in the chat so she can write it down and reach out to you. And I encourage you, Ariel, reach out to these people. There's some people on this call that are running signing services, that are creating courses, that have been around, that know, you know, this business and are in your area and would be really happy to pitch in and give you some advice and help you. If you are looking to shadow somebody in a professional capacity, you want to ask to participate as a witness. And this is going to be maybe on a trust signing, or if they potentially, like some states in Florida, if you've signed some Florida loan docs, they're going to need a witness for that. So if you can fill in as a witness for them, and that's usually you get a small amount of money for that. You'll be able to see the interior of the process. What does the introduction look like? What does the, you know, the greeting look like? What does the presentation look like for a trust package? And when I say trust, I'm referring to end of life documents, incapacitation documents, your, you know, your legacy planning documents. Does that help answer your question, Ariel?
Yes, it does, actually. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I'm really glad I joined this because I've been like just going over this in my head for so long. And I'm like, I don't even know where to start. I don't know what to do. So, yes, thank you very much.
Hey, and I
Ariel,
want you to have
links
What
in the
go
chat.
city is Ariel in? What city is Ariel in?
Um, well, I'm in Colton, but Riverside County.
Okay, thank
awesome. You've got some folks reaching out to you in
Oh.
the chat.
Okay, let me look. Sorry.
Yeah, scroll up in that chat, get those numbers down, and call these people.
Yay, thank you.
Melissa's a great resource. Cynthia's a great resource. They're all, look, I mean, just reach out to them. I know Pam Adame, are you in that area as well, Pam? Where'd Pam go?
She's Los Angeles, isn't she?
She's SoCal. You're SoCal, aren't you, Pam?
It's Glendale.
I'm in Glendale.
And Glendale and Melissa. Okay. Yeah. So reach out to these folks, Ariel, start making those connections. Other notaries. There's another trap I don't want you to fall into as a new person in this business. Other notaries are not your competition. They're your collaborators and your friends and your support system. So do not be afraid of reaching out to them. Okay.
That kind of was my fear. I was like, "Oh my gosh, I hope it's not like, I don't know,
No.
people are not gonna wanna help me."
No, we say it all the time on this call, collaboration over competition. It is, I swear that's going to be on it's going to be on my gravestone, isn't it, Laura? Someday here lies Jen Neitzel, who said more, the phrase she said more than anything else was collaboration over competition always. And I'll tell you what, being open to that is exactly how I got to the spot I am today, as Laura as well, right, Laura? Prioritizing collaboration. So, and people on this call, Ariel, are so supportive. You've come to the right place. So, happy to have you here and look forward to getting to know you better as you grow your business.
Great. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys.
You're welcome. I want to tell you guys a little something before we move on to Brian's question and Faith's question. What Ariel was talking about was that, how do I do this, right? Danica asked that, how do I do this? How do I get known? How do I build that know, like, and trust factor? How do I go to networking meetings? Like, it's one thing to say it, like you need to go to networking meetings, right? But easier said than done, because what's the first thing that goes through your mind? I'm scared to death. I don't want to do that. At least it was in my mind when I first went networking. I have a program that I want you guys to check out if you need support with your marketing. There's training programs aplenty out there that are going to teach you how to be a good foundational notary. And you are on the call with one of the best trainers in the country, Laura Biewer, teaching you how to be foundationally good at the art of being a notary, because it's more than just a stamp and a pen, and we all know that. What those programs don't often give you is a real heavy lift with marketing. They give you a 30,000-foot overview. If you want to get down to the nitty-gritty and have a framework to help you market your business and grow your client base, Marketing for Notaries is where you need to go. Check it out in the chat. Just go look. The program is there. It's $25 a month, and it's going to help you learn the 5-point marketing system to grow your business. All right. Brian, thank you for letting me do my little commercial on my soapbox. What is your question for us? Tell us where you're calling from first.
I'm calling from California, NorCal.
All right. What's your question?
I was just wondering about the loan signing system. If you guys think what you guys' thoughts on that?
The loan signing system?
Yeah, with Mark Wells or Wills.
Bills.
Laura?
So he has been out there quite some time. He has a lot of followers, and there are people who love his programs and they feel they do really well and succeed with what he teaches. He's really very good at marketing. And then there's others who don't do well in his environment. And we find them coming over to find other programs. So I think I think what's most important is that, does the program he's offering you resonate with you? Is it a process you think you could execute? And if the answer is yes, then that's the program you should be involved in. Because there's other programs out there. But I want you to know that just because somebody doesn't feel that a particular program is for them, it doesn't mean it's a bad program. It just means it didn't resonate with them. It doesn't fit their personality, their vision on how their business is going to be. And so thank goodness there's a lot of choices.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, Brian, that's a great question. And you know, one of my favorite things about Mark is that he is the first one, and anybody that's been in his program, you guys know this, he's the first one to say, you know what, I'm not for everybody, because he's got a really big personality, and, you know, he knows that. So Laura's words are so true, Brian, whether it's me training you or Laura training you or Bill Soroka training you or Mark Wills or Vanessa Terry or Amber Gist or my notary, the Notary Academy, Kimberly Sennett, or help me, Laura, any other ones.
Yeah.
You have to find the person. You have to find the person that you can listen to for that many videos, because it's a lot of information that you're going to be learning. And you have to find the person that you believe, that you can trust, like that you feel good about. And it really, it depends on what your personality type is and what you know, and really, and what your budget is too.
Okay.
Does that help answer your question?
Yes.
Awesome. Thanks, Brian. Miss Faith, tell us where you're calling from.
Hi, I'm calling from New York City.
See you.
Thank you. Similarly to some of the other callers, I'm new to all of this. And so I realized, you know, I took the notary exam here in New York, and that was fairly simple, but there's like a lot of gray areas. So now I'm doing like the NNA courses and things like that. And I spoke to one of the NNA coaches, and I was like asking her, like, how should I sort of approach, thank you, Pam, how should I sort of approach like general notary? And she said that it's best to start off with assisted living facilities, nursing homes, rehabilitation centers, places like that, to sort of like market my business. But I'm like, I'm new to this. Do I just call people and say like, hi, I'm a notary, should I show up? I'm wondering, you know, what would be like the best approach to something like this?
You know what you need, Faith? You need
What?
you need a framework.
Yeah.
Get out and market. You need to go check out marketingfornotaries.com because that's
Okay.
exactly what I teach you step by step how to do. Let me ask you a question though first. Does working in that space, in that medical space, does that appeal to you?
I can't say because I haven't explored it. I'm not
Do
completely
you
against
enjoy,
it.
do you enjoy being around sick people or elderly people?
I like elderly people.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
When you ask yourself these kinds of questions, Faith, and you start
Mhm.
getting down to what you like and what you enjoy, it's going to be a whole lot easier to do that heavy lift and the hard work of getting out
Mhm.
and promoting your business, right? So
Mhm.
like if
Mhm.
some people just detest going into hospitals, right? They just can't stand it,
Mhm.
trauma that they've had, whatever reason they have. And so why would you want to put yourself in that situation? It's going to make it harder for you to want to go promote your services there. So that's yes, those places
Mhm.
are wonderful, but there's so many other places too that need general notary work done. Laura, do you want to chime in here and give Faith some good advice?
Well, as Jen just indicated, there are a lot of different types of notary work available for us as a mobile notary. And so
Mhm.
much of it can be specialized. And hospitals and assisted living isn't just walk in the door and you do the job. There's a whole bunch of other stuff you need to know before you go walking in their door. When you first get started, the very first thing I did is I told everybody I'm a notary. So I made sure that where I get my hair done has my cards, where I get my nails done has my cards, where I buy my groceries. Anytime I saw the bulletin boards, I was in the phone book. Just that visibility. I was on the
Mhm.
free directories just so people knew I am a notary. So that was kind of the first part, is just let people know I'm out here. And then I started to target, okay, why do people need notaries? I mean, they can go to the bank. They can go to a
Mhm.
shipping store. Why do they need to pay me more money to do the same work? And as I started investigating that, then I started to see this idea of specialization. And I found that medical facilities required some other nuances to it. It required me to understand what their business was about. It required me to understand that my patients or their patients, my signers, isn't the same as sitting in somebody's home. There's
Mhm.
navigational issues, there are assessment issues, there is confidentiality issues. There are so many things to know about to be successful in that. So you might want to look at those who come the easy way to pull to you, which would be Google profile. That's one way to do
Mhm.
that. And that would be anybody who happens to call. And it might also be hospitals and such.
Mhm.
The other thing is that I did publish a book with Bill called Beyond Loan Signings. And that book talks about 13 different kinds of specialties. Turn that off. My phone just is going off the hook today. Um, and so not everything needs even a commission to do it. And what I recommend is see what are the different kinds of specialties and then just identify a couple of them to see, well, I'd like to do that. That sounds interesting to me. Okay, so what would it take to do that kind of business? Because I think to just have it too big makes it very difficult to get your hands around it. Once you have an idea of what you want to go after, then the framework that Jen's talking about can help navigate how to get there. But first,
Okay.
you need to identify what is it that I'd like to be doing. So you might want to check out that book. It's on Amazon.
Okay.
If you see things, and by the way, it's now on audio if anybody doesn't like to read. If something strikes your fancy and you think, okay, I want to know how to do that. That's, so what's the marketing plan around that? And who are the right people to go after for that? That's what I would recommend. Kind of get an idea of what you want.
Okay. That's super helpful. Thank you.
Thank you for that question, Faith, and go check out marketingfornotaries.com and I'll help hold your hand through that process.
Thank you.
All right, we have time for one more question. It's from Linda Seymour in California. It's good to see you, Linda. She's working on getting off mute there. There we go.
Okay.
Hey, Linda.
Sorry, guys, I'm driving. Good to see you too. It's been 4 million years.
I
I'm
know.
so sorry. I miss you guys so much. I'm so addicted to you, and I've just been in withdrawals this whole time.
Aw. Well, what question can I answer for you?
I don't have a question, and I'm sorry I'm interrupting. I don't have, I'm driving and I can't put in the chat. I wanted to reach out to Brian. He said he's in Northern California, which where I am as well. And let him know that I work with notaries. I'll do role play and it's all free. I think y'all know I started this little thing called the NorCal Notary Niche. And I work with other notaries and we just get together and we talk about things and support things. And I'll do role play with people on how to, like what you do, Jen and Laura. I just go through the whole thing, the whole process. And it's quick. It's an overview, but it's totally free. It's just like what you say, Jen, collaboration over competition. It's 100% that. So listen,
I remember you starting, Linda. I remember you starting that group. Didn't you start that group? Like, was it 2 years
a year ago?
Yeah. Year ago. Okay. I remember you starting that group. Linda, what's your contact information so I can put it in the chat for Brian?
Okay,
absolutely.
thank you,
And
Linda.
Yes. And anybody that wants to come up, I've got one lady that's coming up. I wish I could tell y'all where she's from, but I barely know how to get in my neighborhood, but she drives almost an hour and a half to come to this little meeting every Monday night. So, I mean, the first Monday of every month, but my number is 214-629-4428. That's my personal cell phone number. And my email address is lindathenotary@gmail.com. And that's with a Y, Lynda, Linda the Notary. Yeah.
And you said 214-629-4428.
Yeah, that's my personal cell. I have a business cell as well, but I know all y'all and you're good to go.
And that's a Dallas number. I can hear that twang in your voice, girl. All right.
Born and raised. Born and raised. Anyway, reach out to me, Brian, and I will be happy to help you or anybody else that wants to come up. We can hook it up and, just work it out, okay?
Thanks so much.
Okay, thank you, Linda.
You're welcome.
Thanks so much for that offer. And Brian, I recommend you take her up on that.
I will.
That is the power of this call, Laura, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. There's a lot of different people that you can connect to.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, guys, we are going to wrap it up for the day. I want to remind you about the free workshop, goal setting workshop. So you can get your goals set in 2025 on December 14th. Registration is at jkcmobilenotary.com/goals. I'm just going to throw it in the chat really quick. All right. You guys go so you can get that, get registered for that free goal workshop. And I'm going to let Laura close us out today because she's got something to say.
I do. I've been sitting on this question I saw in the chat and Yvonne didn't come up to ask it, but it was very important.
Oh, great.
That is that when the Secretary of Office for California put on their educational webinar, one of the IDs that was mentioned was a green card. A green card is not on our list for notarization, and that was misspoken. A green card is acceptable for certain kinds of immigration documents, but not for notarization itself. So we want to make sure that nobody walked away from that webinar thinking, oh, I can use a green card. What you can use is a consular card if it has the photograph, physical description, signature, and serial number. That one is acceptable. So I just wanted to clarify for anybody else who heard that on the call. And then for the rest of you, it is only Tuesday. So you've still got quite a bit of the week to go. Make it a productive one. Enjoy. Have a great week.
Thanks, guys. See you next week.